Hello there, and welcome. Today I want to talk about something really quite wonderful. It's this quiet, gentle process that happens in the soil, a way of healing the land that nature has perfected over countless seasons. You know, long before we had bags of compost or bottles of fertilizer, the earth had its own special method for staying healthy and fertile. It's a simple, really elegant solution that just works in harmony with the seasons, relying on some very humble plants to do the most remarkable work. So, what are these helpful plants called? Well, they're known as cover crops, and that name, it tells us pretty much everything we need to know.
Say, unlike the vegetables we grow to eat, cover crops are grown for the soil. Think of them as a living blanket for your garden beds. Their whole purpose isn't to be harvested, but to give back, to protect, and to enrich the very ground they grow in.
So what are they actually doing down there? Well, a lot actually. First off, their roots hold the earth together, which prevents that precious topsoil from washing away in the rain. Then, as the plants decompose, they add this rich organic matter that improves the soil structure, making it so much lighter and healthier. And some even help balance out key nutrients, getting the ground perfectly ready for next season's planting. It's pretty amazing.
I like to think of cover crops as belonging to 3 helpful families. And each of these families has its own special talent for healing the soil. Let's meet them.
First up, we have the legumes, things like clover and peas. You can think of them as the soil's natural fertilizers. They have this incredible gift. They can literally pull a vital nutrient called nitrogen right out of the air and store it in the soil for other plants to use later on. Next are the grasses, like rye and oats. These are the great soil builders. They grow these dense leaves and stems that create a thick protective mat right over the garden. And when all that material breaks down, it adds a huge amount of organic matter, which makes the soil spongy and just full of life. And finally, we have the brassicas. Think of mustard. We can call these the soil cleaners. Some of them have these deep taproots that help break up hard, compacted earth. And they can also help to naturally manage pests and diseases in the soil, leaving it all clean and refreshed. But how does this healing process actually work? I mean, what's the magic behind it? Let's take a closer look at that nitrogen-fixing trick, which is one of the most powerful gifts these plants have to offer. It's a beautiful process, really. In the first step, you see the legume plants team up with these tiny little bacteria in the soil. Next, they work together to pull nitrogen from the air and store it in their roots. And then finally, in step 3, when the plant's life is over, all that stored nitrogen gets released, becoming a perfect, natural fertilizer for your future crops. Now, what's really lovely about all this is just how simple it is to bring this healing process into your very own garden. It doesn't require any special equipment at all, just a little bit of good timing.
You can sow cover crop seeds in any empty beds you might have during the growing season. A really perfect time is right after you've harvested something like garlic or potatoes. Or you can plant them over the winter. This lets them protect your soil during those cold, wet months, keeping it safe and ready for spring.
So when the plants start to flower, their work is almost done. To finish the cycle, you just simply cut them down at the base. Then, and this is the important part, you leave all the cuttings right there on the surface. People often call this green manure, and it acts as a free, natural mulch that keeps weeds down and holds in moisture. All the while, the roots are decomposing underground, feeding the soil. It's just a perfect closed loop.
So in the end, by planting one quiet little crop, you're doing so much more than just covering the ground. You're really taking part in this ancient cycle of restoration. These silent healers, they don't just protect the garden, they truly heal it, leaving your soil richer, softer, and more alive than it was before.